second to set up and we will get going here. Maybe. While you're waiting on me, feel free to hit the like button, support the channel. I'd appreciate it. There we go. All right, so we do a fast live Q&A on Mondays. It is questions only. If you have any questions, if you can put a couple exclamation points at the end of your question, I can see those very clearly. And then we will go as fast as possible. We do have a community YouTube live on Sunday nights. It goes for 2 to 3 hours. We all hang out, have a good time. You can check that out as well. But if it is not a question, then I will be skipping it tonight. I read them all on Sundays, but I'll be skipping these tonight for just the live Q&A, just so you know. Little Stinkers Quail Farm says, hey, Zach, check your Facebook DMs after you're done on here. Yeah, I've got over 85 text messages today. I have not been on my phone at all. Mondays are pretty rough on me anyway with the shipping. And then MPIP is coming tomorrow, so we had to get ready for that. And we shipped out like 300 quail. So yeah, I've got close, by the end of this, I'll have close to 100 text messages I'll have to respond to. So I will be late tonight. Bill says, I have an old incubator. The heating wire is stretched out. Will that keep it from holding even heat? I have an old incubator. The heating wire is stretched out. Will that keep it from holding even heat? I would say no, as long as you've got good circulation, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I would say that you can. There's ways around it, but you have to do certain things. Tyler says, I've been hatching out my batch of quail and had 4 or 5 that after putting into the brooder get to where they can't stand, and when they try to walk they end up on their back. Is that normal? Nope. The first thing I would look at is your feed. It sounds like it's mainly a feed issue. It might not be a feed issue, but that would be the first thing I would try. But no, there's definitely something there that you'll need to try to fix. Liked your tip on the incubator lid the other day. I believe that was my issue. My first time hatching, I did not lay it down flat. There you go. Yeah, just those simple things that will really help you in the process. Early for once. Hello, everyone. Tackling the Giants has ordered 110 feather sexable eggs from you and looks like they shipped out today. Exciting to get them. Awesome. Good luck. Yeah, I shipped out a lot of orders today. I am exhausted and I will still be going till about midnight. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11. Maybe 11. That's not good. Hold please. Sorry. Looks like I had a short in my wiring. Oh, what's the temp of moisture needed for the incubator? Also, what day do you go into lockdown expecting your eggs soon and completely new to this? In the box, we will be sending out a hatching guide, so it'll go through all of that. We also have the hatching process playlist on our YouTube channel, Myshire Farm. I would highly recommend you check those videos out. There's like 6 of them, but they're very short videos. That will give you all the information you need. And then again, we'll have a hatching guide in the box as well. Zach, my brooders are full, but they are 2+ weeks and almost feathered out. Can they handle 60-degree temp and grow out pens? They're 2 weeks plus and almost feathered out. 60 degrees would be okay. 60 degrees would be okay. If it gets cold, then you're probably going to lose some, so just be careful with that. But if it's consistently 60 degrees, then they'd be all right. I thought Rhineck was an incubator issue. I have 6-7-day-old chicks that has acquired it today. What can cause Rhineck? Rhineck is usually a humidity issue in your incubator, typically. And I've never seen a chick that gets Rhineck after they're hatched. It's always at hatch. Um, so it's 9 times out of 10, it's a humidity issue. Zach, when incubating for balut, do you wash the eggs before selling them? No, we do not. We do not wash anything. They are unwashed. Too much time. But I mean, we've made that agreement with the people. If your customers want them washed, then obviously you have to work that out. Hey Zach, 2 days ago I put a roux in with 8 hens that have been laying regularly for 2 weeks. Now it seems that their egg production has fallen off. Is that normal? And will it self-correct? It will self-correct. Anytime that quail are stressed out, that will happen with the male going in. They will stress. I would assume about 3 to 4 days they'll be back to normal. But it'll self-correct without you having to do anything. Leadership Help Desk says, what types of restaurants buy the eggs? What is the typical price per egg for each egg? That really varies on your location. Usually a lot of high-end restaurants, some Vietnamese restaurants, some like sushi, hibachi restaurants, things like that. And really the price really does vary depending on location. I know a person in Virginia that gets, I think it's close to 90 cents an eating egg, which is insane here. Like there's no way we could do that here. If you can, hit the like button, support the channel. I'd appreciate it. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. Using Game Bird Crumble Starter from Tractor Supply, most of my birds seem to be fine, but just a few are going bad, so I will take a look at it. I'd look at the feed first and foremost. That usually is the issue. If it was a heat issue, they would all be like that. I think it's a feed issue is what I would go with first. I've had several with Rhineck weeks after hatch. That is very strange. Very interesting. Really appreciate your review of the Nurture Right 360. I got one and expect some eggs soon. When setting the amount of days on the incubator, is the days to hatch or days to lockdown? It's a good question. We didn't really use it. I mean, we set it, but it didn't really do anything. So we did 2 lockdown, but I didn't read the instructions, so I'm not too sure. But we did days till lockdown. Anyway, and then we just unplugged I think you can set it. I think the purpose of it is you can set it and then it'll automatically stop turning on that day. But we candled anyway, and I mean, it's really simple to just take the turner out. So that's what we did. There might be another reason. I don't know. Really appreciate oh, no, just read that one. And anyone else having trouble loading the video? I hope not. My screen is looking okay, but I don't know. What types of restaurants buy meat birds? What is the acceptable dressed weight? Well, to sell dressed quail, butchered quail to a restaurant, you have to be USDA most time. I mean, you have to check your local area. But yeah, you have to be USDA. So technically we do not sell to any restaurants because USDA is extremely expensive and just not worth it here in Ohio. Darn, missed my answer. What did you say? 2 days ago, I put a roux. Yeah, it'll self-correct, Shelly. It'll self-correct. It's stress on the hens, but they'll get used to them after a few days. I would say within 2 to 5 days, it'll be back to normal. So it'll self-correct. In Belize, the Chinese own most of all the grocery stores, so I have to drive to all 50 stores and get rejected a lot. There is no central location like you talk about. Any suggestions? The Chinese own most of all the grocery stores, so I have to drive to all 50 stores and get rejected a lot. Well, I would keep doing it. I mean, that's what I would do. I don't take no for an answer. I would just drop some off, is what I would do. Hey, I think you can sell these, keep the profit, these are free, and here's my card. And I'm assuming, I mean, once they see that they sell and that they continue to sell, they'll contact you, would be my guess, but it's hard to say. Every area and location is different. And we really didn't try to get into grocery stores. We went to more of the individual route, which led us to more and more places. Um, I think that a lot of people make that mistake. And again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do this. I'm just saying that's not how we did it, and that's not how I would want to do it. But everybody is different. Every location is different. But a lot of people try to get that monster whale, and that's usually not how that works. You gotta get a bunch of those small accounts, like a ton of small accounts, and then that whale will come to you. You going to that whale hardly ever works, ever. So I would go to their customers, is what I would do. I'm using Game Bird feed from Tractor Supply, and my babies are rocking. They are poop generators, though. They are, absolutely. I have heard a lot of Tractor Supply feed concerns lately, and I don't get mine from Tractor Supply, so I don't know. I would like to see someone, and I can't do it. I can't switch my feed. But I'd like to see someone, maybe, if you could, Chuck, maybe you could even buy it at Tractor Supply, but get just like a turkey starter, and do half and half, like separate the brooder and do half and half, and see if your chicks do a little bit better. But again, um, it might just I just might be getting that question a lot. It might not have anything to do with anything. Karen says, I heard chicks with Rhineck is a vitamin issue. It could be. I mean, that could be an issue. It very rarely is, but that is a possibility. It said, I believe PJ said that he was getting a lot of Rhinecks weeks after. That would most likely be a vitamin deficiency. So I do agree with that. And I didn't even think about that. I am exhausted, so I'm sorry. But that is actually a very good point, Karen. PJ, I would look at your nutrition on the feed that you use. If you're getting a lot of Rhineck or issues weeks into them growing out, most likely that is a feed issue. That's a great point. I should have thought of that. I'm sorry. Katie Bella says, I have the nurture right, and tomorrow will be 48-hour test run. My eggs are scheduled to arrive by Friday. Should I keep it running or turn off and starting in Thursday? Sorry if this is dumb. Nope, that's not dumb at all. I think it's good. 48 hours is ideal, but no, keep running it. It's not going to hurt anything, and it should be consistent anyway. It shouldn't affect anything. So yeah, keep it running. That's a great idea. Your goal setting video, how many categories would be the max that you should be setting goals for? I think I have too many. Your goals, how many categories? That's a good question, and it really depends on the individual. So a lot of people would think, from a lot of research and a lot of people that I've talked to, and a lot of the people that I listen to, I think that they would disagree with how many I have. I've got a lot of different categories. I'm able to do that, and I'm able to disassociate everything. I've got the quail barn, I've got the homestead, I've got personal, I've got family, I've got all these webs, and that works for me. And I think it works for me because it helps me focus on every aspect rather than just zoning in on the barn or just zoning in on me or just zoning in. I'm able to go everywhere. So I think that helps me. So I really do think that if you are overwhelmed, then you have too many categories. Don't overthink it. You've got the rest of your life. You can also do 6-month categories. Get these down pat and then work on the next set, whatever the case may be. If you're not overwhelmed, then you're good to go. I've done that before where I've added a couple categories thinking that I could handle it, and then I don't look at it as a failure. I just look at it as, I just overloaded myself, so something's got to go. So you got to take care of you first is pretty much what I'm saying. The wife says, hi, Zach. Welcome, glad to hear. How long would it take for placing an order for live birds until delivery? I know it isn't guaranteed, but I'm most interested in Jumbo Wild and Egyptian feed, figuring out timing. We ship live quail every Monday and Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. We only ship one day a week for live quail, but we ship every Monday or Tuesday. So anything that's ordered between up until that Friday, because we do a couple things with the quail before we ship them out to get them ready for shipping. Up until that Friday, they would ship on that Monday or Tuesday. And I will not have any wilds for the foreseeable future. They will be feather sexable, but Egyptian fees are probably a guarantee. I can probably put those in. I don't think I'll have any jumbos. I might have a few wilds, but I don't think that they'll be jumbos. They'll have hatched out of mixed eggs. Just because I'm backed up on orders, so I'm not putting any in to sell right now, unfortunately. But we do ship every Monday and Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. Blobbert McBlob says my eggs finally came today after expecting them on Saturday. They all look great, and I'm excited to set those boys tomorrow. Awesome. Good luck. Keep me posted, and I'm sure you will do great, but keep me posted. We'll make sure everybody's taken care of. I use game bird feed from Tractor Supply, and my birds are thriving. I also give mealworms and sprouts and occasionally hard-boiled egg. There you go. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad I hear that. Tyler says, how many chicks do you normally put into a brooder? I recommend 6 chicks per square foot up until the beginning of week 3, and then they need to be 3 quail per square foot because they grow fast. Tractor Supply here in South California is selling food for twice the price once you add up shipping. I believe that. I believe that 100%. I will try it with the feed. I will try it with the feed out males that I have, game bird feed versus turkey starter. Great. Keep me posted and let me know how that goes. I really just don't want to mess up my quail, unfortunately. I think that would be a good video, but I can't do that. But please keep me posted. Rhineck is usually a vitamin E deficiency in chickens, if that helps. Haven't had the problem personally with quail yet. Yeah, I agree. And it could be. It very well could be a vitamin issue. But usually when they hatch out, if they don't have Rhineck... How do I say this? Nine times out of 10, Rhineck occurs at hatch, which is a humidity issue. However, in those weird times, like you're getting Rhineck weeks down the road and they haven't had it till then, it's typically a vitamin issue, which could be genetic, but it could be the feed. So you would have to experiment on that. So that is a very good point. And yes, that is a lot more common in chickens than it is quail. If I apply for importing license to bring quail eggs into Canada, would that make it easier for an exporter in the U.S.? It would make it a little easier on the exporter in the U.S. However, the U.S. is... Well, okay, so pre-COVID, exporting really wasn't the problem. It was the country that you were importing to. Now, the U.S. is very, very strict on what even goes out because of whatever reason. So the whole process is pretty extreme right now. It's for sure, it's a lot easier to get eggs in than it is to ship them, for sure. PJ's Family Farm says, only getting Rhineck once in a while. Not every hatch, only 1 quail in the 2 hatches that happened to 2 months ago. Between these hatches and every quail eats the same game bird feed. Okay, so most likely they just have vitamin deficiency, is most likely what it is. Justin says, Zach, any suggestions on bulk feed? Location suppliers are setting up a co-op for feed. Feed is mid to high 20 per $50 bag. On bulk feed, yeah. So we do bulk. We buy, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 pallets. So 8 ton of feed a month from a local feed mill, and we've negotiated price and all that jazz. So yeah, I would just go into the feed mill and say, all right, let's talk about bulk. What is your bulk? And way back in the day, I did that. What was that? 4 years ago, maybe. Contacted the local feed mill, said, hey, I want to buy in bulk so I can save on price. And they said, oh, well, you have to buy at least 3 pallets for it to be bulk. And I said, oh, I go through like less than a pallet a month, so never mind. And now we go through 8 pallets a month, and so bulk is not an issue for me anymore. So you'll just have to find out what their definition of bulk is. Where do you get your live quail shipping boxes? It's a good question. I don't know. Jenna handles all that. It is somewhere out west. That's all I remember. I drove there to get them. Actually, we had to find an actual supplier to get them. We were buying them from someplace and they stopped selling them. So Jenna had a good enough rapport with that company that she called them and they said, oh, yeah, we don't sell them anymore. We just weren't selling enough. But this was the supplier that we were getting them from. So we called the supplier and they said, sure, we'll sell them to you. By the way, you have to buy like it was like 15 or it was like 3,000 boxes. And I said, crap, that's a lot of boxes. But it's what we had to do. How much weight would I lose on a quail processed at 6.5 to 7 weeks versus 8 to 9 weeks? I have a ton of ruse in the bachelor pad, and I'm kind of over the male behaviors. Is it worth the extra weight? Is it worth is it worth the extra week wait? In weight. 6.5 to 7 weeks to 8 to 9. I don't have the actual numbers. I mean, I'm sure I do in one of my notebooks, but it's not in here. My suggestion, 6.5 to 7 weeks. I'd plan to do it next week, is what I would do. It's not that much, and if you've got a ton of them and they're just driving you crazy, then I would just set it up mid next week. Let them be 7.5 to 8 weeks old and just call it done. Is what I would do. But I'm not too picky about losing just a little bit. I mean, again, we're talking about half of an ounce here. You know what I mean? Like it's just to me it's just not worth it. Like just do it when it's convenient. If they're on your nerves, just get it out of the way. Yeah, you lose a little bit, but it's done. You don't have to pay for the feed and it's over, you know? So that's just my thought. And I know a lot of people feel differently, which is fine. I keep an emergency medical kit next to my rabbits. What would you suggest to keep handy for the quail in case of injury? It's a good question. We will be working on a video on that, but just a couple quick things would be I like Rooster Booster. We have that on hand at all times. I like Electrolytes, which is Save a Chick. Both of those are on our Amazon store. Blue Coat is always handy. That's probably it. I mean, we'll do a video on more, but those would be the major things. I had one of my male wilds kill a smaller male. Killed one of my hens and beat the crap out of 2 other hens and just about killed them. Is going to freezer camp soon. I hear that. I had one of my males. It's hard to say. I mean, it could be a lot of things. He needs to go one way or the other. Yeah, I mean, it could be that he's just a jerk. It could be that he's territorial. It could be the male to female ratio was off. It could be a lot of different things, but he just needs to go. So I agree. He should be going to freezer camp. What would cause a chick to hatch out with its eyeballs bulged out past its eye sockets? It lived for about 2 weeks. It could barely close its eyelids over the bulged eyes. Not Myshire, SSC, CE only one. Yeah, so that is an issue. It's an SSC, not Myshire. So yeah, that is actually a genetic issue. That stems from the albino gene, which I have not seen one. in the past like 9 months here. So I think we might have finally got rid of it. That thing kept popping up and making me mad. But yeah, it's part of the albino gene. And here's the problem: SSCs really shouldn't be bred together as often as everything else. But with that, with the CE gene, with it being a celadon, to me, and I don't know the backstory, I don't know the genetics, but to me, that means that they were inbreeding the crap out of that thing, um, which would bring that back in. So it was a genetic disorder, and it's a one-off. I don't know where you got them from, but I mean, it took us literally years and years and years to get that gene out of the SSCs. But yeah, it was just an outlier of the albino gene that came in with the SSCs. Is it Bossard Box that you get the boxes from Cedar Falls? Does not sound familiar, but I really don't know. Even if you said the name, I don't even know if I would think it was familiar. Cedar Falls kind of sounds familiar. Cedar Falls, Idaho, Iowa? Did I go to Iowa? I didn't go that far, did I? I really don't remember. I don't remember. Cedar Falls sounds familiar, but the Bossard Box does not to me, but maybe I mean, Jenna really handles it, so maybe it wouldn't sound right to me anyway. How long does feed stay edible and safe? It's a great question, and I don't know. The longest we use our feed is a month. Is the longest that our feed sits. And it's custom made, so it's made and then dropped off, and then we order for the month. So it's literally within 4 weeks it's gone. So I don't know how long it would actually last though. It's a good question. I'm sure somebody on here does. Veronica says, "What is Rooster Booster?" Sometimes we use Rooster Booster. It goes into the so electrolyte. The Save a Chick electrolytes to go into the water. It has vitamins and stuff like that in it. Rooster Booster kind of helps them. So like if they have a predator scare, or I don't know, something spooked them and they stop laying. We use Rooster Booster and electrolytes. Rooster Booster in the feed, electrolytes in the water, and throw in some cucumbers. And typically they start laying within a few days, rather than that 2 week stretch of them resetting themselves. So the Rooster Booster just kind of boosts them up. It just motivates them to get productive again. Barbara says, "I have quail hatching tonight, 16 so far." That's great. Congratulations and best of luck. Corn scratch for any bleeding. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad. Can you hatch quail on 1/4 inch hardwire cloth, or do you still need to use paper towels? Nope, we actually, our hatcher is 1/4 inch hardware cloth, in our hatcher, not in our brooder, but in our hatcher, in our lockdown. So yeah, you can, absolutely. Bill, that's a great point. It also depends on when the feed was made as well. That's a good idea. Hidden Creek Quail says, "Hey, Zach, when the chicks pull out their back feathers to cool down, will they grow back?" They will not, unfortunately. That is their adult feathers. And, well, they can grow them back, but it'll be after their first molt. So it takes a while. It takes a long time. Slipped in to say hi from Virginia. Hit the like button. Sorry I can't stay, but we'll watch the replay later. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. David says, "Maybe Myshire Farm could sell quail boxes." Yeah, we thought about that before, and I just don't want to do it. They're very difficult, and yeah, it's just not, I don't want to do it. I got too much going on. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. What would indicate the need for Rooster Booster? We kind of mentioned that already, but it just kind of stimulates them to keep going in case there was, they all stop laying for, a predator issue or the light issue or change in weather or something like that, where they just kind of stop laying. You give them that and they just start going back again. I know I've heard this question asked a few times, so I apologize. I suffer from CRS. What breed do you recommend for a beginner planning on turning it into a side gig, at least down here in Florida? It's a great question. I would recommend a jumbo. Um, if you're looking for a side business, I would highly recommend either a mix, a variety choice, or the feather sexable mix. Um, I have a playlist called Quail for Profit, and it really, as far as profit goes, like if you're selling live quail, chicks, local hatching eggs, things like that, if you're even selling eating eggs, really a mixed covey is much better. As far as live birds go, the colors sell 50 times more than jumbos, for sure. They like the colors. They want a variety. Not always, but that's typically the case. As far as selling eating eggs or like blued eggs, you're going to get a lot more production out of the colors because they're smaller eggs, but they lay more consistently. On the same token, jumbos are always going to be the most sought after, so that's the thought process you'll need to think about. Maybe start with one, add the other, and then have two separate cages. But I do like the feather sexable for starters. James says 100 folks in the room and only 62 likes. Hey, from Maryland. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. We're up to 73. Hit the like button to support the channel. I'd appreciate it. Thanks, James. Johnny B. Good says, at what age can the chicks start flying and how well can they fly as adults? They don't really fly. They're more glorified jumpers. They'll jump and glide for about, I don't know, 30 feet, maybe a little farther. And typically you can put them in an aviary setting at around 3 to 4 weeks old, and they'll start getting flightier and flightier. Katrina says, your feed bags have a made on date. Do they have an expiration date? This would help to answer that question for how long feed lasts. That is true, and I don't think it actually has an expiration date. I think it just has a made on date. But I could be wrong. Ours does not. Ours is custom made, so they don't even do that. But yeah, most places do. So there might be an expiration date. That's a good idea to think about. And yes, Rooster Booster is vitamin B12. Follow up to the deformed chick. Would it be wise to use the chick's SSC hatch mates in future breeding, or would it matter since it was the only one? Not planning to breed SSC to SSC. Follow up on the deformed chick. Would it be wise to not use the chick's SSC hatch? Chick's SSC hatch. If you're talking about using the ones that hatched out with that one, no, it should be okay. Most likely wherever you got them, they've just got that one carrier of the gene. So as long as they weren't collecting for multiple days, most likely that gene is not in any of the other ones, unless it's in a male, which could be a problem. I would do it, and then if you do see issues down the road, then at least you know how to fix it and what's causing it. Rooster boosters for hens, not really roosters. Yes, I mean, it helps the roosters as well, but no, we do use it a lot for the hens. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Absolutely, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Kelly Quail Keeper says, I seem to be giving my birds in aviary a lot of treats, pretty much anything going bad in fridge, vegetables and fruit-wise. I know about no citrus, but is it too much bad for them, my new composters? Nope, they're pretty much composters. They'll eat pretty much almost anything that's in front of them. So yeah, the more the merrier. Mitchard Nelson is in the house. Hi. Can you say when you will start back international shipping? Watch your channel a lot and want to get some jumbo wilds. I do not know. I'm not getting information back. So I thought we were on a process. Like, I thought we were getting there, and then turned out that they just stopped talking to me right before the holidays, and now they're not responding. So you don't know, unfortunately. As soon as I have an update, I will be happy to share, though. The blue coat I'm seeing is for livestock wounds. Is that what you use, or is there one specifically for quail? Blue coat is usually what you would use for quail. I don't think there's anything that's specific for quail, but blue coat works just fine. That is all of the questions, I think. Let me look. Hold on. That is all the questions. If you have texted me, then I will be working on that next. I've got it set up here actually. Dear Jesus, I've got 113 that I will get with. So it'll be late, and I apologize, but I got to get it done because I don't want to wake up tomorrow with it. So I will be working on those now. And thanks everybody for showing up. Hit the like button, support the channel. I greatly appreciate it. The last couple of questions says, I have 2 roosters that got really tore up on head and neck. Amazed they are alive using Vetrimicin spray. I don't think I've heard of that. Will they be usable? I mean, they heal pretty well. So as far as the healing goes, they should be fine. I don't know about that spray. I mean, if it's working, great. Chuck says, Zach, you look tired. Do you sleep? I am exhausted. Yesterday was about a 14, 15-hour day. Today, so far, is a 13-and-a-half-hour day. I've got a couple hours left. And tomorrow will be actually, every day's a long day. Sometimes I get off early, but not usually. Are you going to raise Coturnix quail outside on the business of the business for self-sufficient use? What will the cage setup look like? Yeah, we will be doing some of that stuff when it gets warmer or when I get caught up. I haven't decided. I'm thinking more of the quail tractor is what I'm thinking. We wouldn't need a ton in there. So I'm liking the quail tractor. I will have to ask. The other thought that I have not talked to Jenna about, the other idea I had was with the aviary, we're going to be putting rabbits in there. Maybe we could put quail with them, but she might say that's stupid, or she doesn't want to, or she's fine with it. I don't know. So it'd either be an aviary setting or a quail tractor. Heard blue coat was not so good because you can't eat eggs or meat. Yeah, you've got to spend some time away from it. But I think, I don't want to tell you the wrong days. It'll say on there how long you're supposed to wait before you can use it. And typically they're in like a hospital ward while they're healing anyway. Honestly, yeah. Okay, so one of my goals this year was to be a little bit harder. So I try to say things that are more acceptable and I don't offend people. And people are not going to like this. And that's okay. We all can have our own opinions. But we don't keep anything. And I wouldn't suggest to keep anything that has gotten beat up or that has beat something else up. Whether it's territorial or not. It's just not worth keeping. Quail are quail are meant and bred for meat and eggs, so use that one for meat, or dog food, or falconry food, or whatever the case may be. You can use blue coat, you can use this, that, and the other. You can salvage them. It's not ideal though, is my opinion. Trying to stay with not having any chemicals. Can you use vinegar for cleaning incubator? I've never done it. I'm sure you could. I like the Listerine. I'm sure vinegar would work fine. Why not do both? We might. I mean, again, it'll depend if she wants them in with the rabbits or not, and how we set up the aviary as well. Can you put quail in with your garden? That you can, absolutely. And would they leave the veggies alone? No, they wouldn't do that. But I mean, they would have to be in like a quail tractor, or like a chicken tractor. We have a snail problem, and neighbors don't like chickens. Yeah, I mean, you could do like a little quail tractor and move it all the time. But yeah, they'll pick it. It's the veggies. If you out the rabbits in cages on top of the quail with deep bedding, the quail should clean up after the rabbits since the rabbits eat pellets. That is true. I don't think I'm going to be having the rabbits in cages though. We're going to give them the entire aviary. I'd like them to have more of a natural setting, but we got to look at all the logistics as well. I wonder if it can write QuailCon off on a business taxes. It's a learning experience, and there's classes that you're attending. So yes, you could, in my opinion. Um, That is all the questions, guys. Sorry, I was trying to read through them. So, everybody, thank you very much for showing up. I appreciate it. We had some good questions tonight. We will be back on Sunday to do another live Q&A and have a community setting. We'll hang out. And I am planning, and if all goes well, I'm planning on doing a video tomorrow with the whole hatchery MPIP process. I think that'll be an exciting video. We've got a nutritionist, food expert coming out on Wednesday, so those videos will be in the works if all goes well. The little giant incubator goes into lockdown Friday, so I'll be posting that video on the review next week. Um, and I'm sure there's other announcements I should say, but I honestly I can't remember right now. I got inside about 35 minutes ago, quickly showered and got into the chair, and I am stressed beyond belief with all the text messages. So I don't. I'm sure there's other stuff I should say, but I don't remember right now. When I clean my poop pans, I use 2 foot wide butcher paper with a light layer of construction sand. So much easier than newspaper. There you go. That's a great idea. Um, All right, that is all. Thank you very much. I will be posting at least a video this week, hopefully two. We will see how the week goes. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Hit the like button, support the channel. I'd appreciate it. And stay tuned and stay safe. See you guys.